All right, I just want to give a quick intro to this video. It's going to be fairly long. There's a lot of blood tracking and stuff, but it's all things that I think you got to watch all the way through. I learned a ton from this hunt, and I think you guys are going to learn a ton from it too. Um, you shoot at a deer, you think you miss them, then you hit them. There's blood. There's good blood. You wonder whether you should track it or stay back or let it settle or try to push forward and jump in the buck. And there's really a lot of valuable stuff to learn from this one. So just watch it all the way through. Hopefully it's not boring. I think it's pretty exciting. And I also want to give a thanks to Chris Alberini, who helped me get the buck out. He came in and helped me on the final day looking for him, and actually found the speck of blood that was, we hadn't found blood for a while. He found the first new blood, and that led to a nice trail that eventually led to the buck. But watch it all the way through, enjoy, and subscribe and follow and all that stuff if you haven't yet. But I really enjoyed this hunt, the biggest buck of my life, so enjoy. Every hunting video should have coffee or tea boiling. You gotta have that shot. Okay, officially the fourth sit. 2 sits opening day. Went out for 2 hours yesterday for fun. Had that crazy experience with that doe that wouldn't leave me alone. And today's the first real nice day. It's gonna be a little foggy, but no more rain. It's still gonna be wet, gonna be quiet. And I'm going down into that same spot where that community scrape is and that nice 8-pointer. I know there's more bucks in there, some good ones. And I'm gonna come in from the way opposite side because the wind is different. So it's a long walk. And use my nice camera today for the first time since it's not gonna rain. We'll see how it goes. Right.
Right. Right.
Oh, he snuck right up behind me. He came right down here. And he was too close for me to stand up. So I had to wait. I think I just totally missed him. I've got this branch here. I had to lean to the left. What a nice buck. I had to lean out that way from that branch. I just watched that back. I have no idea how I missed that deer to the left. I think the only thing I could think of is I was leaning a little bit to avoid that branch that's in front of me, but man, that happened so fast. All of a sudden, it's pretty quiet out here. It's really wet. All of a sudden, I heard some brush moving and I looked down. That buck was 7 yards from me. He came right in on my boot track and was smelling my boot. He followed me in. I've got no scent on it. And he was too close. My bow's up here. He was right down here. There's nothing in between me and him. If I was to stand up and grab my bow, well, he was 7 yards away. He would have got me. So he actually turned and did exactly what I needed him to do and start walking that way, quartering away. And everything lined up right, but I just missed that shot. He had no idea what it was, though. He got out of here quick, but I don't know. I hope he comes back. Here's my angle on that shot. He was standing right there. That arrow might have hit that branch. I don't even think I noticed it. Come on. I thought I saw a little bit of blood with my binoculars from the stand, so I'm gonna go check that arrow. It's been 40 minutes since I shot. I don't see how I could have hit it unless I did hit and the arrow ricocheted, because it looked like it went to the left of the deer, but I'm gonna go check. Take my time. Yep, there is blood, actually. Wow. It's not good blood, though. It's not lung blood. I guess I'm just gonna slowly take my time and follow this blood. It could be heart blood. I don't know what that arrow did now, but there's a decent amount of blood here. It's just not lung blood for sure. So I don't know if I feel worse or better now. can smell him. Just taking my time real slow. I'm still on blood. It's dark red blood, so I mean, it could just be a flesh wound. That's looking better there. I'm about 50 yards on the track now. Well, the blood trail led me around there, and then it circled back this way. Looked like he stood there, and it came this way too. I don't know if he stood here and circled around or what, but now I gotta figure out what's going on with that trail. Because he did a circle around that tree. He's gotta be right here somewhere. Well, I've got 100 yards on the blood. It's a really thick blood trail now. But I don't want to push him now. I do have all day, so I'm gonna sit. I'm just sitting on a log here, and I'm gonna give him probably 2 more hours. And I still don't know where I hit him. I have no idea. But it all happened so fast. Sometimes that's how it happens. And looking at the footage, it looks like it was a complete miss, but you never know. I was up in the stand kicking myself for 40 minutes and decided to get down and look for blood. And now this is probably the thickest blood trail I've ever been on. Now it could be, I could have missed the vitals and maybe hit an artery, in which case he will bleed out. It could also be liver, but I just don't see how there's any way from that footage I hit him back. So we're gonna play the waiting game. I'm gonna try to relax here, and then I'm gonna pick up the blood trail. There's no more rain in the forecast, so I should have all day to try to get this deer. He's actually heading right towards the white oak that I was talking about, and that community is great. He's heading that way. This isn't that same big 8-pointer though that I had in the video, the last video. This is a different 8, and I don't think I even have this 8 on camera. But all right, check back in with you when I pick back up the trail. Of course he's gonna go into a swamp.
was headed that way, and then he made a sharp change in direction this way. Almost a complete 180, so maybe he's up here close. And there's a nice rub there. This could be his bedroom. Might have went home to die. He stood there and jumped into the green stuff. I just jumped the deer up. Might not have been him. The blood trail's going that way. The deer was over here, but I don't know. I've been on the trail for about 300 yards now. Still really thick blood, but now I'm sick to my stomach. I'm pretty sure I just saw a coyote. Something was slinking around right there. I think it was a coyote. I actually don't think it was that buck that I jumped, because this is the complete opposite direction. It could have just been a coyote in there, because I didn't see a buck. I just saw flashes and some bounding, and I figured I'd jump the buck, but I just crossed a little stream, and this buck is going the opposite direction. If that shot didn't kill him, these mosquitoes damn well. Called in the choppers to help me look. Fuck, I just jumped him. I should have waited a little longer. Fuck, he's standing right there. I was going down through that thick stuff, and he was bedded in there. He jumped up. He only blew at me once, and then he was kind of hobbling and slowly walking away. So I climbed up this perch here so I can get a better look, and I'm gonna sit here and wait it out for a couple more hours. I have to, and then I'll go see it. He was last standing over there, and he was just moving very slowly, walking away slowly. Hopefully he just bedded back down and will bleed out. I hope he doesn't clot up and regain his strength. I'm hoping that he's still bleeding and he's gonna bleed out. It's about 12:30. At 2:30 I'm gonna get up and go check where I last saw him, and hopefully he'll be over there dead. What I gotta do is go check that bed and see what's going not doing well? Or do I wait and wait and wait and hope that he bleeds out? But I do gotta check the bed, because if there's clots in the bed, I should go after him. If there's no clots in the bed and he's still bleeding, then I can afford to wait. The helicopter's helping me ask him to go check this bed. Well, it's 2 o'clock. I'm driving home. I couldn't find that bed. And there was some blood coming out of a trail on the backside, so he was still bleeding. I couldn't find the bed where he was laying down, though. But I haven't had anything to eat or drink, so I'm going to go hydrate, shed some clothes, and come back with a game plan, hopefully around 4:30. And just going to creep around real slowly, do some glassing, and hopefully find him. Don't feel good, though. I'm back home now, and just put on my Lucky Irish socks here for the track tonight. Got Drunken Leprechaun sock here, some shamrocks, and Conor McGregor over here. But I'm hoping to get some Luck of the Irish tonight. Find this deer dead. Do me good, boys. Going in the gilly. Oh, I couldn't find one. I found the last blood, and obviously no more blood after last blood. So now I'm just doing a little grid searching. It's really hard to see the blood in this lighting. So I'm gonna grid search till dark. Come back in the morning. Look again, maybe come tonight if I got some help. But it's not looking good. Of course, it is turkey season too, but I've had a long day. I'm gonna go home and see my boy. Well, I went back in for 3 hours, grid searched the crap out of that place. No sign of him. Never picked up blood again after the last blood that I marked on Onyx before I backed out. I couldn't find blood again. I found that blood and that was it. The lighting in there was weird. My eyes couldn't find blood, and I feel terrible. And so I'm going home. I've had a really long day. I'm going home. I'm gonna play with my son, put him to bed, hydrate, take a shower, get some sleep, and then I'll be right back at it in the morning to try to find that buck. I owe it to him. I drew a lot of blood from him. He was leaking the entire way until I jumped him. And then I just couldn't seem to find where it was that I jumped him and find any blood there. But I'm going to try again tomorrow. Back at it this morning. I'm not going to film a lot just because I was getting distracted doing that yesterday. I'm going to focus on this blood and trying to find this buck this morning. So I talked to an experienced dog tracker last night, and although you can't track with dogs in Massachusetts, he gave me a lot of good tips and boosted my confidence up a little bit. I mean, what he was saying is, and by the way, his name is Mike LaFleur. So thanks a lot for the conversations last night. But he was talking about, the differences in the blood, and a lot of the stuff I, kind of know, but hearing if somebody's been on so many tracks really did help boost the confidence. So the dark red blood he was seeing is not a superficial wound. It's something happened with that arrow. It deflected in that deer the way it came back out the opposite way. That he thinks it clipped some internal organ, maybe even liver, although it would be weird to come back that far, but liver or clip the heart.
that dark red blood is a good sign. And also the fact that the buck let me get, I don't know, 20 to 30 yards. When I jumped him up, he was in some thick stuff. I was going pretty quiet. I'm pretty sneaky, but I got 20 to 30 yards from him. He says the fact that, that buck let me get that close to him, he doesn't think it was just a shoulder wound. I mean, it had to be something going on internally in the organs, that buck wasn't doing well. And that's what happened. I mean, when I jumped him up, he stopped, turned back and looked at me. He was 50 or 60 yards from me when he stopped, and he was just moving slowly. He was really groggy. And when he finally walked off, he took a couple of slow steps and just kind of slowly meandered out of there. Now, I wasn't able to find the blood again from that spot, but I'm going to go back to where I filmed him after I jumped him this morning and recreate where he was, so I know the exact tree he was standing behind, and that's where I'm going to start my search. And, if Mike's right, Mike says that deer should be dead within 400 yards of where I last saw him. I did go in last night and grid search, but obviously I didn't search everywhere. So I'm hoping I can pick some blood back up, and I'm just going to take it slow, methodical, no filming. Hopefully the next time I do film, there's a dead buck. So excited. I picked up on blood, and I'm going somewhere where I haven't been yet. There's still good blood. It looks like he stopped here. There's a lot of dark red blood there. Could be a clot, but at least I'm making progress. He stood over here. I think this is where I jumped him and he was watching me. There's a lot of blood coming out of after I jumped him, so I'm feeling better than I did. Yes! How about that? Oh man, I hit this buck yesterday at 7:30. I had a stop and go track. It was a really thick blood trail, but I was afraid I was pushing him too much. I'd stop for a couple hours, then I'd keep going and move for another 200, 300 yards, and then think I'm getting too close, I should let him die, and I'd stop. And then after the second time I stopped, I got up and slowly started moving. He was in some real thick stuff, kind of like what you see here. And I was slowly moving through there on thick blood again. I found a bed. As soon as I found a bed, I marked it on onX, and I jumped the buck out of, it must have been a separate bed, or maybe he was just standing there. I jumped him up. I saw him. He was 50, 60 yards away, and he was moving slowly. The arrow went through this shoulder, and it deflected and went through the other leg. I haven't been able to examine too much yet. Coyotes got him last night, so he's a mess in here. But anyways, I jumped him the second time. He was moving slowly, so I ended up backing out and going, letting it rest for a few more hours, and came back in last night at 4:30. I couldn't find any blood after that last bed, and I grid searched a ton last night. Probably put on 5 miles, just going back and forth, and I went home dejected. And then this morning, I talked with a bunch of guys last night. Mike LaFleur, somebody I don't know, but who was commenting on my Facebook page. He owns a tracking dog service in New Hampshire. You can't use a tracking dog down here, but he called me and asked me a bunch of questions and gave me confidence. He said the blood that you're on, everything I see there, that buck is dead, and he's going to be dead within 400 yards from where you last jumped him. Just take your time. Well, as the crow flies, he is only 150 yards from where I jumped him. And he went into a thick swamp and probably laid down right here, died right here, and the coyotes found him. But he's a gorgeous, gorgeous buck. My biggest to date for sure. And just has awesome looking coat. His face is beautiful. I don't know if I'm going to be able to salvage the cape or not, but I'm just happy that I found him. Had him on camera a few different places. These curved brow tines are the giveaway. Boy, what a relief. Just goes to show you, do not give up. We're now more than 24 hours after I shot this buck. And I came in this morning. Again, I had a little more confidence after talking with some people last night. And my game plan was to come in and move slowly. But I still didn't feel good. I was pretty nauseous this morning.
And I still don't feel great that I'm going to lose a lot of meat here, but at least I got this buck. So, thank you very much for giving your life. If you like my video, subscribe on YouTube. Follow along in the podcast, Hunt Suburbia podcast. We do a podcast every single week. Talk about bow hunting and mostly hunting suburbs with a bow and other stuff. But if you liked it, follow along. Thanks for watching.